Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And for my French speaking people, bonjour ou bonsoir. How are you feeling today? Well, I'm feeling great. I've not been posting for a while because I've been busy with school and all that. Pretty hectic. But I'll try my best to be more consistent now. So, well, today I'm going to be tackling, as you read from the title, HTML forms. So we're not going to be doing too much styling, nothing too crazy. I'm just going to explain the skeleton or the anatomy of HTML forms. So now let's just break them down into questions, right? So what is an HTML form exactly? So basically we know what forms are. They're basically used to collect data on a person. Um, So basically, in this, it's the same concept, right? So what happens is the HTML form, or maybe like the sign up or sign in on the website you're on or the app you're on, basically that's an HTML form. So what happens is it takes your data, stores it, or should I say posts it or stores it to a back end or the database, and then gives you like access or give you an account depending on the whatever you're doing, right? So what kind of data does it collect? Like we've seen this, but let's just mention them. It collects names, emails, date of birth, and credit cards, your password, anything like. So basically, so now we're going to be talking about the syntax of HTML form. So basically, as we can see here, we have a form tag with its closing tag, right? Simple enough. And then what happens here? So basically, the form tag is acting as a container for the HTML form element or the form elements, right? So now let's talk about what kind of syntax we have in there, right? But before that, we need to know that they're attributes too inside of the element. So the attributes could be, I'm gonna do this. So input text, right? Usually it's like this, your name. The name will be maybe it's for let's say F name, and then the ID should be the same thing. So when we do this, so when we do this, boom, disappears, right? We all know this. This type is an attribute. The type is the attribute of input, right? The kind of input you're trying to give. So the input is basically a way to control, the input type is a way to control what kind of input you want. It could be a type of text, it could be a type of email, it could be a type of numbers, it could be a type of date, it could be anything. We're gonna I'm gonna make this into like a little series on my channel, right? So we're gonna be talking about HTML forms, how to style them, and then later on when I teach JavaScript, then we're gonna work on how like we can make a modals and all that. So stay tuned to my channel. And so here, basically we have the type of text, right? We can enter text, right? Or maybe like a name. Let's just say, let's just say hacks, for example, right? So now we understand what the type is. Basically, it's used to control what type of input we want, right? The type of input we want. But what is name? What is name? We know ID is an attribute for like styling, but what is name exactly? But actually, technically, in HTML forms, well, when we get to the styling in the next subsequent video I make on this for the styling, we're gonna figure out that this is only will only be used in the JavaScript. It's not gonna really be used in the CSS much. So I'll explain that in the future. But this is like a foreshadowing. So now what is the name? What's the name, the use of the name here? This is basically used to name the data to be sent to the server so it could be recognized and get a value, right? Like a name, like it says, like a name for this input type of text, right? So in the server, it is not, if this is not here, it's not gonna know what it's looking for. So basically it's like a hook to the server. Simple enough, simple enough. And then as we progress, we're gonna find values and values in size. I'll explain all that in the future, so don't worry about it too much. But we see most of our tags and all that, they usually have like maybe like an indicator before the maybe all this field, right? So now to do that, you'll simply say label for it, and it's f name because it's one thing. It's like one thing we're doing here. So f name will be the f name, the first name. So we just gonna, oops, can't type first, oops, first name. I can't type for today, first name, right? So now we see first name, and then we have this. Cool, right? We've learned something new, but remember, sometimes when we see on our on like signups and sign-ins, we'll have something gray inside like a text, like a default text, right? How to do that? You come here to the to the input and type placeholder, and then maybe enter your first, whoops, first name, whoops, first name, like this. Simple, right? Pretty cool. So when you type maybe hacks, right? It like the placeholder disappears or the default value disappears. But when you remove it, boom, it's back. Pretty cool, right? So now that we know what labels do, let's do like a simple form right here. Like, what do we need? Like, if we have a sign up sheet, let's make a simple sign up sheet without any styling. So I'm just gonna copy this because I don't want to like type all over again. So we have maybe, okay, I'm gonna say a last name. Last name, we change this so it doesn't have conflict. Our name, name, last name, right? Just like that. But now the problem is it's all going horizontally, which is normal, right? Because it's a form. But to fix this without any styling, we simply come to the second. Let me put some space between them. So the second, or I mean the first, in between the first and the second um, element, right? So we put br, whoops, br. This is because I'm not taught how to style yet, right? Br simply means the use for br is basically shifting to the next line. Simple enough, right? Right? So it looks clean. It looks clean. Wait, let me fix this. Right, looks nice. Enter first name, enter last name. So now, what else do you think they take on the sign-up sheet? Probably your date of birth, right? Of course. So now we're gonna do this. It's gonna be date. Oops, I can't see. Okay, date. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is happening? I can't type today. Date of birth. Boom. Yes, but the thing is, so, hold on. I will not need this. I'll explain. Right. So what's happening here is we can like generally just type whatever, like the slash and all that, but there's an input attribute for that, which is called date. Whoops. Boom. Right. And then remember let's just put it here, BR. Whoops, BR, right? Cool. Wait, what just happened? Oh no. Let's copy this back. Uh, F name, last name, right, fixed. Okay, of course. So now it's like this, right? So instead of basically typing all your age, I mean your date of birth manually, you can just click and then, click the year. Um, I go behind 1999, May 27th. That's my birthday, by the way. Right. So basically, you can just do that instead of typing your name, even though it's more embedded. It's cleaner anyway. We're learning syntax, so right. So now that we have that out of the way, what else do you think they ask? So this, in our sign up sheet that we're making, they can ask you for gender. So now we're gonna learn something new. Right, of course. Now we have gender, but before that, BR tab, of course. Then what else do we have? I believe we need to add genders. So label, then we can say gender. Whoops, gender. Okay, still gender. Real quick, gender. Yeah, I'll correct myself if I made a mistake. And now we have select name. Select name, right? The name will be gender. Whoops, gender. Same thing here. Then inside it, we have options, right? Value. The value will be male. Oops. And copy this, paste this, and then one more time because I don't want to offend anybody. Then female. And then other. I know. Yeah, other. Right. So now what we have here, we can choose. Oops. I didn't change here. Now we can pick one, right? We've seen this. We've all seen this, right? Then we have this options. We have our three options, right? Simple enough, simple enough. Cool. Pretty cool, right? Of course. Now that that is out of the way, then now, what else do you think we have in um like in a sign up sheet? Well, I think they'll ask you for a password, right? So now the next best thing would be what? Label password. Oops. Password. And we have password. Boom. Like that. Oh, never forget your BRs. BR tab. BR tab. Of course. Now, what else do we need? Input. I remember I mentioned the answer. If you remember, you can say it along with me. Password. The input of password, right? So now, let me show you something cool. When you enter your name on the, like if you're entering your name, you can see it, right? But with password, and then the type being password, you'll get this, like dots. It's encrypted. You can't see anything, right? Pretty cool. Simple enough, right? So now the next thing will be they'll ask you for the to repeat your password, right? Because why not? Um, Remember, I'm not adding the names and all that because we don't have any databases or anything we're posting to. But in the future, I'll explain we get deeper. So you'll have this as a basis, and then when we go further, we'll understand. Right, of course. So I'll do R pass two. Hold on, let me just say R pass. So for repeat password, R pass. So password, then here will be repeat password, right? Never forget your BRs. BR, BR. Whoops, that's a different tag. BR, BR. Cool. So now we have our password. You can see it. Then repeat password. We can see it. So what's the last thing that'll be on our minds? Cool enough. Cool. So now the next thing would be a button. Simple enough. So because it's very hard to style the buttons, we wrap it in a div. So we can say button, right? Button, and then we give a button the submit. We give the button a type of submit, so we can style it because we can style it if we do it originally. Which, and by the way, the original way will be like this: input type submit. By the way, we've all, yep. So see this. This is how it looks like. Like basically, um, BRs. I always forget them. BRs. Do not roast me in the comment section. Yeah. So BRs. So we see anytime we click submit, if we had like somewhere to post, like here maybe an action or like somewhere it's going like a method posting or getting something right, to and fro the database, it'll be like, for example, I say this, boom, it refreshes and it goes to the database and checks. It does a lot behind the scenes, so we'll figure that out. So now that we have this submit, like it's like when we're styling, I'll show this, but it's very hard to style. So the best thing would be to use this method. You wrap the style, you wrap the button, and then you put the button type as submit, so it can still have the same functions as the um, its original version. So now we have submit. Oops, I can't type today. Submit. Boom, same thing. Does the same thing too. Watch. Boom, 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 boom. Gone. Simple. We don't have to stress about it. And just like that, boom. Here's our simple HTML form, right? This is literally the basis of all forms we see everywhere, all day, every day. I'm Mel, password, blah, blah, blah. So in the future, I'll cover um, authentication and all that. When we study JavaScript, trust me, it's the best thing you can learn. It's pretty cool. So when you click the submit button, it goes to a page, and I'll show how to do that. Right. Awesome, awesome, awesome work. Thank you, everyone who stayed tuned throughout this video. I appreciate you. I'll make sure to pump more content for you and then make it as simple as possible, as I always do. And also, if you did not notice, I got a new mic. So yeah, mess with me. And like I have a question for you guys. If you could answer in the comment section, if I did a podcast, would you listen? Comment yes or no. And if no, tell me your reason. And if yes, tell me your reason too. I appreciate you and have a great day. Stay blessed. Love you guys to death. Peace. Bye.